So where we left you on the last one, we went through and just kind of started cleaning things up, some of the basic stuff. Cleaned out the fuel tank, cleaned out some fuel lines, put some new fuel filters on. We cleaned out this housing. We got everything bled through. We've got fuel coming to all these injectors, or all these fuel lines right to this point. And we did try to start it with the battery, and it'll spin up, and it spins up fast enough, but it still won't fire. So the next thing on the troubleshooting list out of the tech manual is valve lashing and the injectors. So that's what we're going to work on. That's what we're going to start off with anyway. All right, so we got all that off there. Didn't come off too bad. A little bit of WD-40 penetrating. Came off pretty easy. I got her all stored over there in my fancy car top carrier. I'm trying to get this wiring situation. Or if I should just go ahead and take this alternator off and get it out of the way too. I like to wear these thin gloves when I'm working on this stuff, but I also have to take my gloves off to mess with the camera. So I just end up back and forth here. Let me crack these, and then I think I might grab an air compressor one more time. Good, 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 goodness gracious. Some of these have these little wire ties on them for the wiring harnesses. Make sure I save those. Here's what we look like in here. That's water for sure. Interesting. Last I checked, water does not like to combust. Yeah, that's just, yeah. Okay, well that's interesting. Good news is everything is still attached. Right, I suppose. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that leads me to believe there's probably water in the oil itself. So I probably need to go ahead and do an oil change on this. I don't know. I wish I did. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't pull these injectors. And maybe we can peep down in there into the cylinder, see if there's a bunch of water in there. See, there's a little copper washer there. I don't want to lose that. like the wiggle is a good thing. That's got to be a good sign. Oh, looky there. All right, before, oh, right there. Okay. No further than that till we clean it out a little bit more. All right, it's been a couple days. We've got, the injectors are all loose and ready to come all the way out of here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull them out the rest of the way. I need to clean off around the seats just a little bit better before I pull them out. They're pretty dirty. You can see that kind of, that same rust situation we had going on in the previous video. Kind of going on here. So I've got some fuel system cleaner recommended to me by my local mom and pop shop for these diesel injectors. I'm just going to pour this in there and let these soak a little bit. So while those are soaking, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to adjust the valve lashing on there, and I'll show you what the manual says to do that. I've got this little bore scope. I've had this for a while. It's pretty old. I think it's even, what we got here, 1200p. Yeah, so it's not even, kind of outdated. But we're going to shove it down these injector holes and see if we can't see the top of the cylinders. It's not going to be the best resolution for you guys, but I just kind of want to see if there's any water in there. Got a little light on the end you can adjust. I can't tell if that's water or just the top of a... It's right at the top. See the indentation of the camera there, the little ring. Same thing. So it is definitely dirty on top of those cylinders. That is for sure. But I do not see a bunch of standing water or anything like that, which is good. So I'm going to adjust the valves next, and the technical manual here for the exhaust valves, lash clearance, cold, 0.017 to 0.021. I don't have a 0.017 on my feeler gauge, so we're just going to do 0.018. And then on the intake, lash clearance, 0.014 to 0.018. I do have a 0.104. So exhaust, because it lines up with the exhaust port there, and then that should be intake. So on this engine, these don't have locking nuts. They best way I know how to describe it, or the way I saw it described, is it's like an engineered cross thread. It's just meant to lock itself into place with no locking nut. So that should be intake, exhaust. So the way it was explained to me is I put the feeler gauge in. See how it's got some movement there? I put the feeler gauge in. Still got a little movement. I just want enough that like you can't wiggle it. I don't want to pinch the gauge in there. So this one on the exhaust won't even slide in there. There we go. So I just put the jump pack back on it. We're just going to try to bump the engine a little bit. See if we can find where we need to be. There we go. We can get that one now. And that one now. So in theory, those all should be in spec now. I'm gonna go ahead and change oil real quick while we're at it. Let those injectors soak a little bit longer. My panel already kind of looks nasty, but just kind of want to see what comes out of here. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Shop floor is comfy, I'll tell you that. How far is this gonna shoot out? You never know on these horizontal ones. All right, let's see what comes out of here. Oh, there's some water in there for sure. Hopefully it's not a lot. Or maybe it's all water. Could all be water. That is a possibility. Could just be nothing but water. Is there any? Oh, there. Oh, see, there's some in there. Yeah, there's a little water in there, but you know the oil's gonna stay on top, so hopefully the oil is from here up, and it's not too big of an issue. I'm gonna have to go get a filter wrench for that. Put a little oil on a rubber seal. It doesn't have to be. Oh, there. Now we got. Okay, we can hit that for sure. Oops. All right, we are all topped off with oil. Back in. I'd like to hook them up to the fuel system and run them outside of the holes just to see if everything's coming out like it's supposed to. All right, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're definitely a lot better, and I can see all 4 holes on all of these. I don't have a good way. I wish I had a way to hook these up to the fuel line and spray them just to see if they were working right, but I do not have enough flexibility in these lines to do that. They do make little injector testers. You're going to be real shocked when I tell you I don't own one. So we'll try this, see if it makes it any better. Let me get everything hooked back up and we'll try it out again. I shoved this down those bolt holes before I ran those bolts in, clean those out, lube them up a little bit. Just kind of snug them up, and then I'll get the torque wrench out and find that spec in the manual. 10 to 15 pounds. All right, on these fuel leak-off line bolts, I'd say that's what those are. 5 to 7 pounds. Valve cover bolts, say 10 to 15. Lucky 13 again. Oh, did you put a new valve cover gasket on there, Mike? Oh yeah, you know I did. You know it. Don't even have to look at it to verify. You know, without a doubt, I put a brand new valve cover gasket on there. You cut yourself off there. Make sure you hold the button a little longer before you talk.
Go back to Octopus. Go back to Octopus. Can you read me?
Yes.
Your name is now Captain Barnacle.
Okay. What? Okay. It does have an intake heater, but that is not hooked up at the moment. It should at least start with the starting fluid, which just makes a fella think there's a major compression issue. I'm not optimistic at this point. It definitely seems like a compression issue. We're gonna try one more time. If that doesn't work, we're gonna have to take the whole head off and get into it a little bit more. Got to be a compression issue still. So it's one of four things. Either where the valve seat are still gunked up so bad that it can't hold compression, the rings are shot on the pistons, the head gasket's blown, or it's all three of those things. Let's go ahead. I want to see if I can get all this pulled off. The manual says you can pull the head off with the engine block still in the tractor. Our oldest came out to help. She's just going to take parts and put them in the part storage bin for us. got to get that off of there. That's all going to be rusted. I'm pretty sure we're just going to end up breaking that off, and that's going to be fine. Oh. Oh, okay. Expected them to come out harder than that.
Thank you, faithful lash, you said that stuff.
That's still attached to. Oh, I see. It's got this fancy.
You got this fancy piece right here.
Well, it's got this real fancy weld job. That's something.
Upside.
That is something. Okay. That bracket does have to come off, though.
Fancy welding job.
Oh, goodness.
Did
So we just drove that exhaust manifold down and out the bottom side. I don't think we're going to have to redo that, obviously, anyway. That'll be on the short list, along with trying to get it running. And it's not great in there. Okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Mint. Ran one parked 27 years ago. Leave myself a little bit to weld to there. 2 bolts holding that bracket on right in there. We gotta try to get those off. Loosen up the power steering pump. There's just 2 bolts on the bottom. Give me a little bit more room to this bracket, or to these 2 bolts. They're behind that bracket. Got one more here. Okay, let's go with those other exhaust bolts. And here, let's go in there. Be careful on that. Lots of sharp edges. Here you go.
this goes with this, right?
Just put it all in the box. I ain't worried about it. I'll keep her plenty protected. I tell you what, throw them in the back of the Ranger. I'm gonna throw those in the back of the truck and take those to the scrap pile. So it is a few mornings later. Let's see if we can finish getting his head off here. I also want to take the starter off too. So we should be down to 1, 2, 3, 4. These head bolts are obviously hold down the rocker arm too. Let me get a piece of cardboard set up because I want to make sure I keep all the push rods and the valves as we take them out organized. Run them out the impact real quick. So a few people asked about Clint's 455. You guys remember he pulled that old John Deere 455 track loader, or high lift, whatever you want to call them, out of the woods, didn't run. And believe it or not, I actually did call up and talk to him whenever he did that. But at the time, I didn't have, what do you call that? Money, that's what it was. I didn't have any money for it. But he did offer me a heck of a price on it. They ended up refurbing that themselves, and man, did it turn out Here's some shots of it after they got done with it. Turned out pretty awesome. But anywho, he asked if I was looking for anything in particular, and I said yes. I think a backhoe would be perfect for the property. That'd be perfect for what I want to do, or what I need. I wonder if I can just leave that in there. He said, "What's your budget?" And I said, "Ran when parked." He said he'll see if he can't find me something. Anyway, since then, I've been kind of setting a little money back, anticipating that. So I'm not too mad that we're in it like this. I'm honestly, mad's not even the word. I'm not even upset about it. I'm actually having a pretty good time with it. I'm pretty excited to learn. And we do have a little bit of money for parts. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. We got a little bit of money for parts. Not a lot of money, okay? So don't get too excited, but a little bit of money. Also, if you're not watching Clint from CNC Equipment, you need to be, because they're putting some great stuff out, and I'm pretty sure they're getting ready to start on a backhoe project themselves. And unlike this channel, Clint and his crew, they actually know what the heck they're doing, so you can actually learn something from them. Looks like the back side of this metal, this bracket here, is bolted in to the back side of the head, so we're just going to take these out. These bolt to the fuel tank. Kind of help support that fuel tank. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these injectors back out too. I got a plan for those. I got a plan. It's not very clear in the manual of where the water pump is attached here. So I may need to undo 1, 2, 3 these top bolts on the water pump, and probably go ahead and just take this. This is just bracketry for the alternator. Probably just go ahead and take those off so they're out of the way. All right, so I got that bracket off pretty easy. And it does look like the water pump here is separate from the head. So I think we should be okay to go ahead and start prying on a little bit and see if we get a little movement. Oh yeah. Fuel tank appears to be still attached somewhere. I'm telling you, I will own all of Pittsburgh when we're done with this. Listen, when I said it, I meant it. Okay. Why is that still attached to the... Oh, fuel tank sits on top of that. I'm gonna have to pull this fuel tank, aren't I? This is like the #1 thing I found that's annoying so far, is the fuel shutoff is back here. And listen, I got small, oh, I can reach it. I got small hands, and well, I can touch it, but I can't do anything with it. Get this thing up and out of here. I used a strap first time, but I got this stick handy, so we'll... All right. Really well. Okay. So where's it bolted into the block at? Where's the head at? Right there. Let's see if we can zip those off there. So it moves easy with a pry bar, but when I try to lift it, I can't. So that's gonna tell you how heavy she is. She's gonna be pretty heavy. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Up to the hood is the plan. All right, let's go to the loader arm instead. Stay. Oh yeah. Here's what we look like. Definitely got some rust and stuff in there. We're gonna send this off to the machine shop, obviously. We'll have them run this side, clean it up. Of course, we're gonna have to do some work, clean it up in there. All right, so I've never actually done this before. I bought this fancy little tool. It looks like it's gonna be, oh no, it's gonna fit. Kind of fits. So there's a keeper in here. And the idea with this tool is it compresses this down to the spring. We pull the keeper out, and then the valve can fall down in there. I got this magnet to try to catch these keepers. So I managed to get this one. Kind of show you what I did here on the next one. I'm not a huge fan of this valve spring compression tool I got. It's not the one I'm used to seeing, but it's the one in the store that I went to. I bet you could guess which store I went to. It's what they had there. So we're gonna get it to work to get these off of here, but I'm gonna order a different style, probably the style we're most familiar with, for whenever we do the install. Give her a few taps, pull those keepers out. So that part's not bad, but then the issue I'm having with it is it doesn't back off enough for this size spring. It kind of just does that. This one did it a lot more violently. That one is actually a little bit more controlled. And I've got these baggies. I didn't label actual cylinder numbers like 1, 2, 3. I didn't do one exhaust, one intake. I just did 1 through 6. Front of the tractor being 1. And I'm putting the valve, the keepers, and the spring assembly and seal inside, so I keep everything together. So I got all the valves off. They didn't go too bad. Got them all organized in their baggies with all their little pieces. So that's what that exhaust port did look like. And that's one I kind of touched up, and that's one I kind of touched up. I just put a wire wheel on a drill like that. Just seeing how hard that'd be to clean up. It's not too terrible. I'm gonna get this thing all polished up and cleaned up, and then we'll take it to the machine shop later today, and I'll have them run that surface, obviously the bottom surface, and probably just go ahead and have them run that too. I went ahead and pulled the thermostat housing off. I figure we'll go ahead and get a new thermostat. We got it torn down this much. That's not too much of an expense. Might as well just throw it in there while we're at this stage. I want to get a shop vac and vacuum a lot of this water out, and see if we can't get the starter out. I don't think that water is in there. I think that water got in there after we loosened the gasket, because somebody might not have drained that first. Listen, I'm just speculating. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, okay? Things are happening. So after some real light cleaning up, I didn't put a lot of effort into it, just kind of sprayed it off. I tried to wipe it out a little bit. Still need to clean it up better than that, and obviously we will before we put everything back together. But I got down in there, took some real good pictures. I'm gonna send those to a couple guys I know and get their opinions on it, see if they think we can hone that to clean them up, or if we need to pull the whole engine and re-sleeve it. Send that to a couple guys that actually know what they're doing and get their opinion on it. Not you guys, no offense. I really mean no offense by that. I do appreciate your help in the comments, but I also don't really know any of you, so I don't really know what's good advice and what's not. I mean, after all, I get comments like this, and you know, I don't know what to go off of. I'm gonna go to people I trust and people I know. Let's get that starter off. This was my little temporary jumper wire. goes. Wasn't rotate enough to clear things. If we pull the dipstick, we'll give it just enough. Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta pull the dipstick, okay. Dipstick out of the way. She'll come out there. All right. So that's gonna be it for this episode on the Ford triple nickel, the 555. We're gonna take that head, I'm gonna take that to my local machine shop. They're gonna get that all cleaned up for us. Had to get a hold of Dirt Perfect. I couldn't remember where he takes his starters to get rebuilt. He gave me the name of a guy so I can take that starter to go get rebuilt. I'm just gonna go ahead and order 3 injectors. They're not terribly expensive, the aftermarket ones. That one is really pitted out and I don't think it's gonna work properly. I could have them sent off to have them tested, and the ones that are failed or ones that aren't doing good to have them rebuilt. But honestly, 60 bucks an injector for an aftermarket injector. I think I'm just gonna buy 3 of those and we'll try those and see how that goes. I'm gonna send some pictures to Clint and some guys I trust and see what they think about those cylinders. And then next time we do a video on this, hopefully we'll be putting all these pieces back together and seeing if she goes. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about where we're at on this. I'm still well under what I am okay with spending on this to get it going, so I'm comfortable there. Next video will be the goat barn, and then either the Subaru or the YouTube yacht. The YouTube yacht will be starting in November. I've got like November scheduled for YouTube yacht mania. So that's what we're doing in November, trying to get some of this stuff knocked out while we can, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I am gonna get a new gasket kit, obviously, as well, and some valve compound, and we'll seat those valves. We'll do all that fun stuff. We'll do it as right as we know how to do with the experience we have. And that's it. That's all I've got. By the way, I've got like the first half of shirt orders. They're back at the house and we're getting ready to start shipping stuff out probably next week. So if you order within like the first 2 weeks when we listed shirts for sale, hopefully you'll be getting them within a couple weeks. So that's exciting. No more shirt orders though. We went ahead and turned the website off. So next time we list shirts will probably be in the spring or something like that. Anyway, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember to go check out Clint from CNC Equipment and see what they're up to, because we got to support them, because without them, this wouldn't even be a thing. And I will catch you guys on the next one.